So is Carnival Cruises ending cruising ducks on their ships? Royal Caribbean's Utopia of the Seas arrives in Port Canaveral, and MSC Cruises has unveiled exclusive excursions for their yacht club guests. Welcome back, cruises, to All Aboard with Joe. Before I get into today's cruise news, I just want to thank everyone that has subscribed. We are getting so close to being able to monetize this channel, which is a dream for me because as soon as I'm able to monetize, I can start putting more money back into the channel with giveaways and hopefully group cruises in the future. But for now, let's get into today's cruise news. Starting off with the Carnival news about the cruise ducks, let me first explain what that is in case you're new here and you've never experienced this. So I don't know who started this game, but basically people with rubber ducks, they'll hide them throughout ships. Now, not just exclusive to Carnival, every cruise line pretty much does this, or I should say guests of cruise lines. Basically, they hide a rubber duck in the ship somewhere for someone to hopefully find. And there's usually a note attached with information about the person that left the duck behind, as well as instructions, anything, because imagine if you were some random person that's never experienced it before, you might be like, what the heck is this rubber duck? So there's a little bit of instructions involved about maybe you can either keep the duck or hide it yourself. The game is up to you what you want to do with the duck. Usually people will keep it as a souvenir, but some like to hide it as well and continue the game. Now, the controversy on Carnival was that there's been this ongoing debate whether or not crew members should be able to play the game as well, such as finding a duck and keeping it or hiding it themselves. Now, me personally, I don't care if a crew member plays. In fact, I would love for them to play. I think a lot of crew members love getting to know the guests and feeling like a part of their sailing. Every time I'm on board, I like to make friends with the bartenders and the staff and just, kind of get to know them and make them feel like a person and not just a hard worker, because a lot of them work very hard. So the whole controversy was some people disagree that they think crew members shouldn't be involved, which I think is a very Grinch stance on the idea because it is a game and we're all in this moving vessel having a great time. So allow the workers to have a little fun. Carnival Cruise Line's official ambassador, which I've talked about on this channel before, and if you're not familiar with him, his name is John Held. He's been a Carnival Cruise Line ambassador for many years now. He put a poll out on his Facebook page, and this is what he wrote. He said, honestly, do people really mind if the crew steal the hidden ducks? They love them too. It brings them joy. But based on today's post, if you think Beards should instruct the crew not to take them, please let me know. And the ambassador gave 3 choices on like a multiple choice style poll. And basically says, A, the crew should take them if it brings them happiness. B, crew should not be allowed to take them. And C, I couldn't give a duck. Now, 7,000 people did reply to Held's post. The overarching sentiment echoed the above comments. The crew members should be allowed to join in on the fun, so the debate is now settled. And I couldn't agree more. Like I said before, I think the crew members work very hard, and a lot of them love the guests. They love getting to know the guests. They love returning guests. So I think that they should be part of the fun. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So I think the controversy is over because I think the overarching sentiment is that crew should be able to play. Now, the Utopia of the Seas, the largest ship in the world, largest cruise ship in the world, apart from its sister ship, which is Icon of the Seas, an Oasis class ship from Royal Caribbean, has finally arrived in Port Canaveral. I still can't imagine seeing this arrive into a city like Port Canaveral. But to give you a little bit of information, I want to back up a little bit and give you the whole rundown of what went down. Because a lot of people actually don't realize what happens after a ship is built. What's the process, right? There's quite a bit of things that happen. It's not just like, okay, ship is delivered, go sailing. There's a lot of protocols in place. Let's go through the quick little timeline. So in 2022, the keel was laid in France at the shipyard there. I can't pronounce Chantiers del, and I can't pronounce the name of the shipyard, but anyways, it was laid in 2022. Following the finish, the builders released the ship from France to Royal Caribbean International on June 13th, 2024. So that happened last month. And of course, that was after Captain Gus Anderson did the initial trials, which is like kind of the kickoff of seeing if the ship is fully functional. Following its delivery, Utopia of the Seas did a transatlantic journey from France over to Ponce, Puerto Rico, where it did its next step in its process of verifying everything is up to code. At the Port of the Americas, they did technical tests and then moved on to the next location. But first, a quote from Port of Americas. We've had the immense honor of hosting the majestic Utopia of the Seas at the Port Authority of Ponce. These days have been especially vibrant and exciting. A sincere thank you to the Royal Caribbean International for choosing our port and to the city of Ponce for the warm and enthusiastic welcome to this magnificent ship. So I'm sure a lot of people in the Port Canaveral area were excited to see the ship arrive because it is literally a moving city. It's just ginormous. But yeah, that arrived around 7:30 at Terminal 1 at Port Canaveral. And I'm sure a lot of onlookers were just jaw dropped and just it's when they said majestic, they're not kidding. It is literally a moving city. It's wild. So one thing I forgot to mention was that when they were in Puerto Rico from, I think it was July 6th to the 8th, they met with the US Coast Guard and the public health authorities to make sure that the crew, just the in general staff, were up to date on everything and make sure they're properly trained. So that's important to note. Now, following before it can actually kick off its christening cruise, they have to do what's called a 2-night shakedown cruise, which is once again just a last minute test to make sure that everything's going to be safe, the crew, the staff, just in general, and of course the guests will be taken care of. Following that, the vessel will be on a 3-night christening cruise embarking on July 15th. So after that, all those people that have their pre-booked Utopia of the Seas sailings should be okay, assuming everything goes as planned. But you never know in this industry, things can go awry. I hope for the best for them because, it is a crazy, just insane cruise ship that I'm sure a lot of people are gonna have a lot of fun on. And like I said, I still have not done Icon of the Seas or Utopia of the Seas. So I'm hoping to do them in the future. Though I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge big ship person. I don't love that big of a crowd, but I'm interested in reviewing any type of cruise ship. I'll do anything. It's just not my first choice, but we'll see. Maybe I'll have a blast next time I'm on one of those ships. But last one I was on was Wonder of the Seas, and that was a little bit too big for me. And this is even bigger. So we'll see. Our third story goes to MSC, and it's for the Yacht Club guests and how they are going to have exclusive excursions catered to them. Now, these excursions are not included, so if you're a Yacht Club guest, you still have to pay extra for them, but they are specialty. And if you've ever done an exclusive excursion that's unique apart from the regular excursions, it's pretty special. Now, if you're not familiar with the Yacht Club, it's basically a ship within a ship. That's the whole idea, the whole premise. It kind of sounds silly on paper if you think about it, because, usually you go on a cruise ship to have it's a vacation in itself, right? It's a moving vacation. It's not like a hotel, moving hotel. But yeah, apparently I've actually yet to review MSC, if I'm being honest with you. But I have seen videos like Ben and David doing the Yacht Club as a guest. And it does seem cool. It does seem like a cool concept, but it's not exactly something I would want to pay extra for. But perhaps this will convince me once we actually see in action what these excursions are about. But according to the press release that was released by MSC on July 10th, that's when they released this, there's going to be nearly 100 shore tours and destinations in the Mediterranean, Northern Europe, and the Caribbean. So all special in those areas. So if you are a Yacht Club guest, you can expect to be treated to very exclusive excursions that are unlike anything else you've experienced. Now, of course, you can still book the other excursions. You don't have to book these exclusive excursions for Yacht Club guests. So if you are one, you have the flexibility of doing whatever you want. But the new tours are focused on culture, cuisine, and architecture, and are limited in size to allow more of a private experience. Which one of my biggest pet peeves about excursions is when you have too many people on the tour, because the truth is then you have to stop for people that have to use the restroom, people that want to go shopping. You never have enough time. But if it's a smaller group, chances are you have more say in things, and there's a better chance of having more customized to what you want to do. The one thing that I noted in the press release that excited me about this opportunity is that because it's a small group, you are escorted in a private transportation, and usually it's very spacious. It's like a motor coach that you'd get for usually bigger groups, but it's exclusive to your small group. So it definitely feels more luxurious. And I think that's the key here is I think when I travel, sometimes I don't mind going with the crowds, but I love having more of a luxury setting. It makes you feel special, makes you feel like you're getting taken care of. And you might have to pay a little bit more for it, but sometimes it's worth it because you just have less of a headache and you feel like you got more out of your experience. So one of the things that was noted as a private excursion, almost like a little taste of what you might experience, is during a port call in Italy, for example, Yacht Club guests get to learn the secrets of making pesto during a cooking class. Santa Margherita Ligure, a historic village in the Italian Riviera. So that's kind of cool. I feel like having a private cooking class is a very unique experience. And that's definitely something that if I ever went to Italy, not on a cruise, but just in general, I would definitely want to do a cooking class. And it sounds like you're kind of getting best of both worlds. I love cruising. And then I'm also getting a little bit more that on that land experience that you just don't have time for in big groups. So I think that's a really cool example of what to expect. Now, as I said, I've never experienced MSC. I'm a little bit hesitant. I know they're one of the poorly rated, especially in the cruise YouTube world, one of the most poorly rated up alongside Margaritaville. I'm not saying I wouldn't try it. I definitely would review MSC. In fact, I kind of want to review it because I want to see if that all the poor reviews I've seen about it is true. But yeah, maybe that's something I book in 2025. We'll see. Well, that's it for today's cruise news, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love your feedback. So if you guys like anything or don't like something about my video, please let me know in the comments. Truly, I take them all to heart, not in a bad way, but I want to learn and adapt these videos for you guys. If you don't like it, let me know in the comments, please. And as always, guys, liking a video and subscribing to this channel is free. It helps me out, and I would greatly appreciate it. It motivates me to want to do so much more for this channel. So I really appreciate your support, and I'm super excited to see where the rest of this year takes us. As always, this is All Aboard with Joe, and I will see you next time. Peace.